do basically is, before this market gets to this point, before we head on to this point, I don't know if I can see the previous. You guys said you've already watched the video, so it was at this region. Let me just reanalyze so we can see. So what I was seeing at the point was, let me just move this a little bit. I don't know if I can see if the replay can work. Come in, please. It's been a while that I use replay. Okay, I can't find it. Let me just go ahead and do the. Let me just go straight to the analysis. Maybe later, if I find it, I'll just make use of it. So what I was seeing basically on BTC at a point was a downtrend. So if I draw my my trend line, sorry, like this. So as I always say, basically to determine the direction of the market, you need just few things. You don't need any indicator, you don't need anything. Everything you need that is required for you is on your chart. So what I use to determine my direction is trend line, to understand the flow of the market. Either it is flowing downward, north, south, or it's flowing upward to the north, or the market is in a range. So the market can either be doing these three things. Either it's moving in the upward direction, or it's moving in the downward direction, or the market is in a range. So basically at the point, I could see directly that BTC was selling at the point. So the second way you can also identify the market direction is by market structure. What do I mean by market structure? Your higher high, higher low, or lower high, lower low. Let me delete this. You can also use that to identify your market direction. As we can see here, this is lower low, lower high, makes a lower low, a slight lower high, to the downside, lower low, lower high, and lower low, slight lower high, and lower low. So immediately we broke this trend line to the upside, my direction changes immediately, even though I'm not going to enter immediately. That's why I said execution is different from analysis. Your analysis might be telling you, okay, we are set to move upward. It doesn't mean you are going to enter immediately. So immediately we broke this trend line to the upside. Let me zoom out clearly. Are you guys following me?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, so immediately we broke. I'm trying to zoom out. Sorry about network. Not the best right now. So immediately we broke to the upside. I knew that, okay, the market direction, the overall market direction have changed to the upside. So what I was just waiting for is the right time for me to scale down to the lower time frame to execute my trade. So these are the things that I saw. We broke above this trend line. Can we see the trend line I'm talking about? Is it clear? Hello guys. So we broke above the trend line. Even though we broke above the trend line, market structure principles cannot be overlooked. What do I mean by market structure principle? If we can see this was the last high. This region, that was why I draw this zone. This region was the last high. Sorry. So this was the last high before we made this impulsive move to the downside. So I was careful not to enter the trade or come down to my lower time frame to execute my trade, because this zone is still clearly there, serving as a resistance. So I need to break forth this zone before I make any trading decision. See, one of the best way to be a very good trader and an exceptional trader is to always look for areas of concern. always look for a place that might want to hinder your trade not to move. A lot of traders are so excited, they are so anxious, they want to just click the buy button and the sell button. I always say this over and over again. When trading becomes a game to you, you can never be profitable. Trading requires a high level of discipline and patience. So even though I saw a break of this trend line, I was still reserved because I could see a zone of the last high. So I needed to clear that zone. This place is an area of concern for me. So I don't want to even trade except we clear that zone away. So immediately I saw this strong bullish candlestick come break this zone. Then I knew we've cleared that zone already. All I want to do is to be patient and wait for a retracement. Then I come down to my lower time frame to get my entry. Do you understand what I'm saying? Guys, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Do you have any questions before I move on? Do you have any questions before I move on?
None from me for now.
Do you have any question? Is it clear up to this point?
From my end, yes.
Yes, it's clear. I'm sorry, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
What is muted?
I think you muted yourself. Hello.
You guys hear me now? Sorry about that though.
Yes.
You guys hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, thank you so much. There's no question before I move on, right?
There's no question for now.
Okay, so let me just move on. I'm coming to it. Okay, so let me move on now. So immediately we saw a break of this trend line. I waited for this structure to be cleared, and I saw a very strong bullish candlestick. Now, another thing you guys should take note or always take note is that when you see candlestick formation on a higher time frame, is always more valid on the higher time frame than the lower time frame. When you see a chart pattern or a candlestick formation, chart pattern formations, we know what chart pattern formations are: ascending triangle, descending triangle, double top, bottom, triple top, triple bottom, any chart patterns you know. When you see them form on a higher time frame, they have a very strong bias compared to the lower time frame. So the mistakes a lot of people make is they come to the lower time frame to check for patterns. I'm not saying it is not right for you to check patterns on the lower time frame. Don't forget, they are always, I will still show you a very case scenario whereby I use chart patterns as my entry on the lower time frame. But I'm saying it is more valid on the higher time frame compared to a lower time frame. Now, I'm going to show you something on BTC now. I can delete this trend line. We don't need it anymore. We already know that we cleared the trend line to the upside, so we are buying. So everything on my mind on BTC, immediately we broke this structure is buy. I'm not even interested in sell. If I see a sell trade, I'm not interested because the market is saying buy. I don't need to click the sell button anymore. Let me show us another thing that is so clear here. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing. I can see a head and head and shoulder pattern forming clearly here. Let me draw what I'm saying for us. And as I've said, when I see a pattern on the higher time frame, it gives me a very strong confidence that the direction of the market has changed. So this is head, this is right shoulder, and this is left shoulder. Can you see what I just did?
Yeah, clearly. That's the head and shoulder.
So this is head, this is the left shoulder, this is the right shoulder. That is another indication for me that this market is about to change trend. We've been selling for a very long time. I drew the trend line. We could see that first indication, we broke the trend line. Another indication is a head and shoulder. Let me give you a secret. This is how the market works. This is a very secret, something I want to share with us. Market will always form like a base before it turns back. Market don't just turn immediately. It gets to a very strong point where it is about to reverse. It will, like, now this is what I'm saying. Let me give us a very, this market needed to sit. It came above, came down, struggled around this region, came down, did as if it was about going up again, but it has not gotten, it has not, there is no concrete foundation for the market to push up. So the market needed to breathe a little to the downside again. That's how this pattern forms. It's just more like I want to build a foundation for myself before I push up. Don't forget, this is a very long-term trend, and this is a higher time frame. Anything that forms here is a bias for the overall market. As this market where, as it is now, immediately I saw this formation, I know definitely that we are coming to this region, because this is the next. Don't forget, we drew. Let me draw what I'm trying to say. Lower low, lower high, lower low, more like a slight high around this region, lower low. Can we see what I'm drawing?
Yes.
Hope it's not too complicated. Let me delete this. Let me delete this so the chart will not look clumsy. I should have deleted everything on my charts so it can be so neat. So what I'm saying now is, so I can just say this is the next lower low, even though this one did not make a very clear lower low, but then it's still a lower low. So this one didn't form a lower high, but it's still a structure nevertheless. So this is another one. Move. Can you guys hear me now? Sorry about the network. Can you guys hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, so
Yes, you can.
It was forming a lower low, lower high, lower low, slight,
Your
slight
screen.
high. I should re-explain.
Your screen. We can't see your screen.
Okay, you can't see my screen. Okay, you come in, please. Let me share the screen. Can you guys see it now?
Yes,
Can you
yes,
see my
yes,
screen
yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay, so now the flow of the market was smooth, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And if one thing the market does is, from experience, if the market wants to change, if the market wants to change direction, that is when you see the market begins to misbehave. Now, ideally, we should have formed a lower high and a smooth lower low to maybe around this region. But the market was misbehaving and was forming like sort of a sideways movement before it broke down to the downside. So this is an indication for you that, okay, this market is finding it difficult to sell more. And before we knew it, it blew to the upside again, came to give the right shoulder, and I drew a trend line. We broke the trend line, and this is the last structure for the upside. And immediately we broke the structure. I knew we were heading up. So I already know the direction of the market. So what I need to do now is, how do I enter the market knowing that the direction of the market is a buy? Do you understand market direction? Do you understand how to determine the market direction of the market? Guys, do you understand that?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me just delete all these things that I draw. One thing about these things, you need to give yourself a chart time to understand, because market is very dynamic. What we are seeing on BTC now will be different from what we'll be seeing on Euro USD. So it's just more like an investigative. Your work is just to investigate a matter. Your work is to do as much as possible to dig in. What am I seeing? So the way I will analyze the market will be different from the way you will analyze the market. Why? Because of your knowledge. That's why they said knowledge is important in forex trading. If I don't know that a trend line can give me a direction, I would not be able to apply it on my screen, on my chart. So it's the level of knowledge that brings the level of solution to you in forex market. So when I come to the higher time frame to analyze my market, how vast am I? How conversant am I with the chart? Because the chart or currency pairs or any pairs that you want to analyze is dynamic. They are not the same. So how you approach the market is not the same. How you would analyze BTC is different from how you analyze JPY USD. So you need to give yourself a chart time, analyze market as much as possible. Guys, you can just take a random pair, just analyze it, get the feeling of the market. What's the market doing? Let me understand the direction of this market. Market execution is the most simplest thing to do. Market analysis is the most difficult thing to do. So immediately I saw a break of this structure. All I want to see is just a retracement and find my entry on the lower time frame. Nevertheless, the market didn't give a very clear retracement around this region. Let me zoom out. The market didn't give a very clear retracement at a point. Well, can we see this weekly candlestick? After this break of structure, can we see this? This is doji, right?
Yes.
Can we see the indecision candlestick? So it's more like an indecision, three indecisions on the weekly time frame. Can we hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hi, hello. Are you guys still here?
Yes.
Can you
Yeah,
guys hear
here.
me clearly?
Can hear you clearly, very clear.
So all I have to do is to find a retracement and look for my entry. So saw a retracement around this region. There was a retracement around this region. So anytime I see a retracement, I'm always because an opportunity for me to join the market. There's not always a point that you miss out in the market. See, so a very long time I was still very immature when I trade. When I see a market move or I see a very sporadic move in the market, I always feel pain. I always feel left out, that the market has left me. But when I begin to grow, I understand that market can never leave you. Market will always find time to break back, give you opportunity to join the trade. So when I see this market and I see that it didn't give a very clear retracement and we saw a very bullish candlestick into this region, I wasn't scared because I know the market will clearly come and give me a retracement and allow me to join the market again. So I saw this retracement down to the downside. We joined this trade and we entered the market, and I think we made profit to this region. Immediately I saw we made the profit to this region, we saw another retracement around this region, which was the last video I said, have you guys watched? Now, I'm not going to be disclosing our entry strategy here. It's exclusive for the above students. I just want you to understand what the market is doing. So we saw a retracement again to this region. So we formed something like another base around this region, something like a double bottom. Don't forget, all my bias is a buy. I was talking to a guy on one of this community that I belong to. When we saw this move to the downside, the guy said BTC has formed a double top, because of course this is looking like a double top also. We can also draw something like this. Let me move it to the upside. So the guy was showing me something like this on his chart. Let me delete this. So what the guy was showing me on his chart was something like this. And that is why I said our perception about the market might be different. When this guy showed me this and he said the market is about to turn, that the market is giving a double top, I told him that the market direction or the analysis of the market, the flow of the market is a buy already. Why would you tell me this market is about to reverse to the downside when all indication is saying a buy? And we could even see structure forming for a buy already. You can see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, equal high. And the market came to form equal low to the downside. So I said, until I see a break of this last high that we broke to the upside, I'm not interested in selling BTC. So that was what I told the guy. Another indication why I wasn't interested when a lot of people are panic selling was that I was able to draw my trend line to the upside. So I said to myself, until I see this market break this trend line or break this last structure that I drew here, I'm not selling. So all I was interested in is in selling, is in buying BTC. So immediately, just check the usually we enter this market again. When we saw this retracement, let me just come down to the lower time frame so I can just give you guys a clue. So don't forget, this is our retracement. Can we hear me clearly, please?
Yes,
Can we hear
yes.
Sorry, I
Yes.
can't hear you, sir.
So you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
Hello.
Please
Please
talk
let
to
me
the
check
mic,
if I have.
please.
Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now?
I'm hearing
Hello.
you
Nothing
clearly, sir.
yet, sir. I can't hear you, sir.
I can
Ah,
hear you clearly. Again,
you can hear me clearly. Someone is complaining that they can't hear me clearly. Can the person hear me now?
from his
Hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear
Should
you.
I continue?
Continue, sir.
Because this was the retracement I was talking about on the higher time frame. So this was the retracement I was talking about on the higher time frame, on the weekly time frame. Don't forget, we've scrolled down to our daily time frame for our entry. Now, I was talking about something earlier that chart patterns on higher time frame are more valid than chart patterns on lower time frame, right? Did you guys get that?
Yes,
Okay, now can we see a chart pattern on this daily time frame? Can we identify a chart pattern on this daily time frame? This was the retracement that we saw. So I could see, let me delete this trend line. So I want to enter this market. I could cite, what's it called now? A head, a left shoulder, sorry, right shoulder rather, and a left shoulder around this region. This is also a chart pattern. Can we see that? Hello guys, can we see that?
Yes.
You guys see what I draw?
yes, we can.
Yes, yes.
This is more like a neckline. So this region is more like a neckline. So I was expecting this market to come. So what I was expecting basically is I already know the direction of the market. I've seen a break of structure. This was the retracement. So this was my counter trend line. So when I saw a break of this counter trend line, I should enter immediately, but I did not. So I was waiting for this chart pattern to fulfill itself. Don't forget, I said any area of concern for me, I always want to pay attention. Even though we broke this counter trend line to the upside, I could cite a chart pattern. I was not still feeling comfortable because I felt like this market that broke clearly. Let me zoom out. This market, I'm talking about this bullish candlestick that broke this counter trend line. I could have entered around this region, but I felt like this market has a chart pattern displaying in my front. Let me allow this market to break clearly and come retest this neckline. Then I can safely join the move to this region. So I had two things in my mind. Is either the market buys a little and retrace to this neckline, or the market come to do as if it wants to test this trend line. I always have something at the back of my mind. Market would always fulfill every technical levels. It will not leave one. It will always fulfill every technical level. So the market did a bullish move, break this neckline of this head and shoulder, slightly retrace into this neckline, played around it. So a lot of people, when they saw this engulfing candlestick pattern, entered, placed their stop loss below this neckline. That's why I said you really need to understand that lower time frames, a lot of noises are always there. So this market came to swipe every stop losses and came to fulfill this trend line, came to test it, even though it didn't touch it, came to test it and begins to rally up. So this is what I do. Immediately I saw this move, because I know the market might want to come to this region to test it. I placed my stop loss. Let me delete this. I don't need that anymore. I just wanted to use it to explain to us. Sorry, are you guys following?
Yes, very well.
Hello. Okay, so immediately, we saw this bullish candlestick. Now, let me just explain something quickly. I know we might have your questions that if I'm to enter at this break of this counter trend line, where would my stop loss be if I'm to enter? What I do is there is two approaches to enter the market. There's an aggressive way, there's a conservative way. I don't know if I should share that here, but let me just rush quickly because we don't have time anymore to finish. So I knew quite alright that the market might want to come and test this trend line. So I entered the market around this region. Don't forget, I said I was waiting for a retracement of this head and shoulder. I entered around this place. So I placed my stop loss below this last, because this is something like a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So I placed this below this support. Let me draw what I'm saying so it doesn't look like magic. So I placed it around this region. My entry was around this region. So my take profit was around this region. So that was how I entered the BTC, and I was able to make profit on that. I think this is about 1:3 or 1:2.7 or so. And I explained in the last video also that you can re-enter this market, because one thing I do is when I see a stop hunt or when I see the market makers sweeping stop losses, I can identify it clearly by my understanding. So immediately I see the market came upward. I said something in the last video, even before we saw this radical move. I said all stop losses has been hunted. Once you see a daily close, you can re-enter the market and let your stop loss be below this. You can check the video, just check the video, you understand what I'm saying. So I had two positions. The first one was around here. The second one was the close of this daily candlesticks, and we were able to ride this market to this region. So what is BTC going to do now? Do we understand that before I move on?
Yes, please move on.
Do you understand? Guys, do you understand? Can I move on?
Yes, please. We understand. You can move on.
All right.
Yes,
We go back to our time frame. Don't forget, don't analyze the daily time frame. We don't analyze on the lower time frame. We only make entries on daily and 4-hour time frame. So we come back to our higher time frame. So analyze the market. So one thing I need to understand is you guys need to understand that market move from one zone into another zone. So all I need to do is wait for a zone to be cleared. Then I know my projection is the next zone. So I've identified the market direction to be bullish. So which zone are we heading to now? So it is so obvious that we are heading into this next zone, which is the last high. Because, can we see clearly what I'm saying? This was the impulsive move. This was a slight, let me just draw. I don't know how I can explain this, but you guys should just try and understand what I'm saying right now. This is what we call the impulsive move. This is impulsive move. This is retracement move. Sorry. This is what we call retracement move. So we've cleared this retracement move, or let me put it this way. What I want to identify now is areas of supplies, because we are buying, and I want to look out for areas at which the market will get to before the market reacts to turn back. So if I'm buying a market I want to be careful of areas of supply. If I'm selling a market, I want to be careful of area of demand. Do you understand that? Guys, do you understand what I just said now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Hi. Are you
Hi.
guys still with me?
Hear you. Well understood.
Yes.
Yes, very well.
So did you guys get what I said now? If I'm buying a market, I want to keep two areas of supply. Selling the I want to areas of demand. What do I mean by areas of supply? Areas of supplies are areas whereby the sellers are potentially, or the areas whereby sellers are. Areas of demand are places or positions where the buyers are. Do we understand? Hello, guys. Hello.
Hi,
Guys,
sir.
can you hear me?
Yeah, with you.
So
Yes, sir.
this, I could identify that, I could see clearly that this particular zone where I draw this zone, this place where I draw the zone is a very clear indication. Let me delete this and draw it again so we can understand what I'm saying more clearly. I just want you guys to just get this thing, please. Let me delete this. So we can see the market. We got to our zone where we wanted to take our profit. Don't forget, I'm not taking all of my profit because I understand the overall market is a buy. I just want to take in maybe 20% or 30% or 40%, depending on how you want to manage your trade at every point in time till I finish riding the trend, the market. So immediately we broke this region. Where is the next region that I want to be looking out for this market to reverse? The clear one. First of all, identify the clearer ones before you begin to disturb yourself for the ones that are not clear. So this is the most obvious place, the area of supply. Let me just do it. This is the region I want to be careful looking into. Nevertheless, I could see regions, something like this, also in the middle that I want to be careful of because I always say you don't want to leave any area of concern. So what a lot of traders, what they do is they want to ignore. You don't want to ignore. You are analyzing your market on the higher time frame. You really don't want to ignore. Every point matters because the analysis is on the higher time frame, and that's why I said every zone there's always a potential reaction. So I want to be careful when the market gets to this region. I might want to be expecting a retracement around this region to re-enter this market, but this is the final destination. So after we break this region, we are heading to this zone. So basically now this is what I'm saying about area of concern. This is the zone that I identified that is most clearer to me. Let me bring it down a little. That is most clearer to me. Nevertheless, I could see an area of concern around this region. Can we see it? Can we see what I mean by area of concerns? Can you guys see it? Hello? Hello? Hi.
Yes, it's clear.
Can you guys see?
Hello, can you hear me? It's clear.
Okay, you can
Yes.
see what I'm seeing, right? Okay. So what I want to be looking out for on BTC is since we've cleared this zone, and this is the next zone. We just want to see a retracement back into this zone. Then we use our entry, our counter trend line to ride the market into this zone. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Again on what
Hello?
you
Do
said was.
you have any questions before we?
Please come again on what you said last time. Just
The last time,
before
okay.
you make
I said since we've cleared this zone, the next zone is here on BTC. So all I want to see is a retracement into this zone. Or let me just draw this. coming. So I want to see something like this. The market come into this trend line, comes into this trend line for a retracement, then we start buying to the upside. Do we get it? Is it clear?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that
Very
clear?
well.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
very clear.
yeah. So do you have any question? But we need to wait for this weekly candlestick to close before we can be sure that we've clearly broken this structure. Until we see a weekly close, the bias is not yet sure. Do you have any question? Any question, please? Question can come in now.
None from my end.
None.
Ooh.
Any other person? Do you have any questions? Okay, quickly. Can we do you have case that you want us to analyze together? Do you have any peers that you want us to analyze together?
Please let's take a look on GPB USD.
BTC. We just finished analyzing BTC USD. Or which one did you say?
GBP.
Okay, GBP USD. Okay. GBP USD. Okay. I think we are on it now. Now, let me just go to the monthly time. Let me start from the monthly time frame. So basically now, the first thing is just to understand the flow of the market. First of all, the flow of the market is saying a sell, right? My trend line is telling me a sell. And structure is also giving me a sell. So all I need to do is just, this is an indication. Let me draw my Fibonacci from this zone into this zone. So what I'm seeing here basically is just the market is in the overall bias for the market is a sell. Market rallied to the downside, retraced into a Fibonacci, and is about to start falling into this region. Do you understand what I just did now? Do you understand?
Yes.
So even though I know the market is selling, I want to be careful of zones or area of concerns. So this place is a critical zone that I want the market to clear conveniently and wait for a retracement before I start selling. So I'm not interested in GBP USD for now. I'm not interested for now because I can see the market is trying to form a base, a foundation at the upside before it starts heading to the downside. Do you understand?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
So once I see a break, let me zoom out clearly. So once I see a break here now to the downside, I just wait for a retracement and use my entry strategy. So this is the next region into this zone. I can have like a 2 positions before we reach to this zone. Before we get to this zone, sorry. I can have like 2 positions. This is about 1,000 pips. So it's a very long journey. You can easily double your account just with this move. So I don't need to be impatient, losing my money in this indecision trade. So I just need to be patient and allow the market. These regions where I draw, I can actually enter the market if I see a clear retracement into this zone. But I'm not interested because from this zone into this zone is a small I don't want to give myself blood pressure. Let me just see but this thing is forming something like just forming like a foundation. There are some patterns that you cannot identify, like a head and shoulder, a double top, double bottom, but you can know that the market is trying to form a base. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You can just understand that this market is about to reverse. That's what it's doing basically. And if you come to the higher time frame, you can see that the journey is still far. This is an impulsive move to the downside. This is a retracement. And this is a long candlestick, a very strong pressure to the downside. So all I need to do is just allow the market to break this zone, give me a retest, and we continue heading down, falling. So I'm not in a hurry for GBPUSD. I just allow it to break this region, this zone clearly, allow it to retrace back into the zone, and I shut it down to this region. If I look left, while that zone is there, you would see. Why did I put this zone here? Okay, I was wondering. Okay, you can see this place. Can you see this place? Hello?
So I can see it. See.
Okay, so that's that about GBPUSD. Any other PM? Any other PM? It's one already. It's 1 hour already. Let's quickly wrap up. Any other PM? Hello?
Yeah, that's it.
Do you have any other PM before we move? Do we have any other pair you want us to analyze before we move? I can't hear you. Hello? I think we're done already. You don't have any questions. So since we don't have any questions, I think we're just going to bring the live section to a close. But do we get anything? Hello? Hello guys. Hello?
Because we learned a lot. I learned a lot. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see another live session. Maybe we'll be analyzing another pair as it comes up, opportunity arises. So thank you so much for joining the section. I really appreciate it. God bless you. See you guys later.
Thank you, sir.